Assemble! Stay dandy, baby. Every once in a while, there's a manga chapter which is defined by a single event or reveal. And it just so happens that this chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations has two of those. Not only do we get the official full reveal of Isshiki, but we also get to learn the true identity of Kashin Koji. Now, the thumbnail probably already gave that away, and I'm sorry. I do apologize for that. But there's just no way that I could talk about this video without showing what this guy looks like. And it's surprising to say the least. And I can't wait to hear the response on the identity of Kashin Koji, because I know a lot of people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into this chapter. So, Kashin Koji, he's been, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most interesting things about the Kara arc. People have been speculating about this character ever since his introduction. It's something that the Naruto franchise has always been really good at. Characters who wear masks. You want to know their true identity and where they're from and who they could possibly be. It brings me back to the days of reading the original Naruto manga when we were trying to figure out who Tobi was. And even there it was kind of obvious, and even here they've been planting a lot of hints about who this character could potentially be, with the fact that he seems to use a lot of techniques which are extremely reminiscent of none other than Jiraiya of the Great Sannin, the teacher of Naruto, and one of the best characters from the series. And for the longest time, I have been wanting it to not be Jiraiya. I thought that they were just sort of playing with us, and that they were just sort of leading us on and trying to, mess with our heads just a little bit. But we finally get our official answer, and it just so happens that Kashin Koji is indeed Jiraiya, but not the original Jiraiya. He is actually a clone of him, which was created by Amato. Reading this chapter and getting to that final page, I didn't even know what to think. I was just left in a state of utter silence for probably about 5 minutes, just thinking to myself, holy shit, you maniacs, you actually did it. You cloned Jiraiya. It's a younger version of himself. He has a brand new personality, and he's like a warrior trying to take down Kara from the inside. And at first, I was just indifferent. I didn't know if I was excited or if I was angry. And I'm really glad that it's finally just out there now. I think that's my biggest thing about it, is I'm just relieved to finally know what the deal is with Kashin Koji. He's a clone of Jiraiya. And I'm not sure when this happened or how it potentially happened, but it's a pretty big freaking reveal. So the mystery's out, the cat's out of the bag, we can finally say Kashin Koji is indeed a clone of Jiraiya. Now, the fact that he's a clone to me doesn't bother me all that much, because this is a series where the science and all of the crazy dark ninjutsu and all the stuff that's been going on, is a clone is not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, we've even seen it in the series before. We've seen cloning techniques, whether it's through ninjutsu or through crazy wacky science like what Orochimaru cooks up. It's very standard for the show. So I really don't think that that's all that upsetting. It is interesting, though, that we now have a character in the series who essentially is a younger version of Jiraiya, and now I'm just thinking, like, if this character manages to survive this battle with Jigen Isshiki, what's going to happen next? I mean, don't you want to see what's going to happen when Boruto interacts with him, or even Naruto, for that matter? Can you imagine what happens when Naruto actually runs into a younger version of his former freaking sensei? That's going to be insane. I absolutely cannot wait to see what that's going to be like. What about a reunion between Tsunade, Orochimaru, and the clone Jiraiya? What's going to happen in that scenario? And I think let's get to the biggest question of it all. Is the clone of Jiraiya just as perverted as the original? I mean, there's so many things I cannot wait to see from this character, and it horrified me to know that they could actually end up killing him off in this big battle against Isshiki. So, yeah, this entire chapter, rocked me to my core by the time I was done reading it, and it's all because of that big reveal, and it was handled so damn well. And what's really crazy, that's not the only big thing that happened in this chapter. It's definitely the thing that I think most readers are going to be remembering and what they're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks. But let's talk about Isshiki for a second, because we actually get to learn a little bit more about how his clan and the Kama works, and it's crazy and a little confusing and a little strange. So let's move on to Isshiki for a second. So the battle with Kashin Koji intensified at the beginning, where he was being covered in all of those flames from that like fire mountain, and we get to see that actually he can just shrink all of these with his special ability. It is confirmed that he can only shrink himself and other objects. He actually can't shrink other people directly, but he's able to do that with the flames. But because he's so weak from all of the stuff that he did previously, he's not able to eventually get rid of all of these flames, and eventually his body does start to actually burn up. Now here's the thing, if this continued to happen, Isshiki would probably burn up as he was inside of the body of Jigen. That's when he had no choice but to actually fully reincarnate using his body, effectively getting rid of it and gaining a brand new one in the process. What's really interesting about all of this is while it's going on, you have Kawaki, who suddenly bursts into the room attacking Amato, only for freaking Sasuke to cut off one of his weird monster arms and stop him in the process. And while Isshiki prepares to go through this reincarnation, suddenly the karma just sort of disappears from Kawaki. It's implied that when this happens, when they actually go through this reincarnation, whoever else has this mark, it'll suddenly disappear yet again. And this leads me to believe that there's going to be a point later in the series where eventually he's going to get hit with a karma yet again. But then we finally go back to getting to see Ishiki's true form from the very first time. And it's freaky deaky. It's a little different than what we actually saw from Kaguya or even the other members of the clan. He seems to be a lot more demonic in his appearance, with just the overall fact that he has like that big horn and he has like the weird scales on his eyebrows and on his chin. One of his eyes appears to be a Byakugan, and the other one appears to be a brand new form I've never possibly seen. Maybe it's because it's very lightly closed, but he appears to have like some sort of brand new eye technique. But we actually get to see Isshiki in full here, and he looks pretty freaking gnarly. And even though he's not as strong as potentially he could be, and Jigen is not exactly the perfect like sort of vessel that he's been looking for, he's still able to sort of dominate this battle. And this is actually what leads to the big reveal of Kashin Koji. So he starts to sort of rapidly shrinking everything in this room, and eventually he catches Kashin Koji off guard. His mask finally starts to break, and that's when we get the reveal of his character. And just, that's when the jaws hit the floor. That's when shit just goes insane. I said in the last chapter that I really wish more people would take notice of Kashin Koji, and I didn't mention the scene where Naruto was sort of paying attention that there's something about this guy's fighting style. I wish I'd have brought that up. But in this chapter, you can definitely see that Naruto's been watching him a lot closer, and I'm ready to see that reaction. I'm ready for the next chapter where Naruto is going to react to actually seeing this, because, hoo boy, shit is about to get freaking real here. So, what's the rundown on this chapter of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations? This was crazy. This was an insane chapter, and it just gave me everything that I would want. A lot of really solid action, the introduction of a brand new villain and seeing his true form, and of course that reveal of Kashin Koji. I really thought that they were going to hold that back from us for at least a couple more months, but no, they finally gave it here, and I'm glad they did. In some ways, I was kind of annoyed that they were holding back on us for so long, and the fact that this is a manga that only has one chapter a month just made the wait all the more excruciating. But man, it's finally here, and it's done. And like I said, I can roll with this. I'm okay with a clone Jiraiya. The reason I'm better with it being a clone than the real Jiraiya is that while he is a clone, he's clearly a different character. Like, he looks like him, he has his abilities, and he might even have some of his character traits, but this is a brand new character. This is Kashin Koji. He just happens to have the abilities of Jiraiya, and I really hope that he's going to be able to stick around a little bit longer, if only for, in a way, we got Jiraiya back. I mean, the real Jiraiya is gone, he's dead, but I'm really curious as to how they were able to even clone him or even, like, get his body parts. Like, I don't know how the cloning of this actually, like, worked. Like, I have no idea how Amato was able to even pull this off, how he was able to make it happen. Maybe he was in cahoots with Orochimaru in the past. Maybe they had some sort of, like, relationship. I've mentioned it before that Amato is a really great scientist, but the only other character who's sort of been on par with him is Orochimaru throughout the entire series with all the crazy experiments he went on. And for all we know, Orochimaru and Amato have some sort of connection from the past that hasn't been revealed. And I'm just waiting for that chapter where Orochimaru's like, oh, Amato's back, and he's been cloning. That's really cool. Like, I just want to learn a little bit more about how he actually pulled this off in the first place, and why Amato decided to infiltrate this organization and did it the way that he actually did. I almost thought that he was actually going to betray everyone in this chapter, and that it was all a plan to just bring Isshiki back, but it was actually all just something that just had to happen, like, on the fly here, and he's been keeping his cool this entire time despite everything really crazy happening, and Kawaki trying to attack him. But overall, like, yeah, just Isshiki, man. He looks really freaky. I love the look of his character. I'm glad that we finally got another really big, super intimidating villain for the series that could be on par with the classics from the original Naruto manga and anime. And like I said, man, Kashin Koji, Jiraiya clone. I mean, this is going to be the discussion of the century right now. This might be one of the biggest parts about the Boruto manga, and I can't wait to see when we finally get to the anime with this stuff, because oh boy, this is just really freaking exciting. So, you've heard me blab about this long enough. I'm giving this chapter a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved it. It's one of those chapters, too, that reminds me of why I love this series so much, and it reinvigorates my love of it. It just gets me more excited for more Naruto and Boruto content, and yeah, I'm totally digging it. But I really want to hear from you guys. That's like the main reason I made this video. I want to discuss this chapter with you guys. Tell me what you thought about the latest chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the reveal of Isshiki, the bigger reveal of Kashin Koji as a clone of Jiraiya. Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea? Is this something that you predicted yourself? What do you see for the future of this character? Let's discuss all those aspects and Isshiki's brand new form and the future of Boruto in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Remove your mask and make your way to the like button if you liked this video. If you are subscribed to the channel, please hit the bell notification icon. It'll let you know when all of my videos are released. If you guys want to go the extra mile in supporting this channel, please check out my Patreon in the description box. If you guys make a small donation, I'll review an anime of your choice. So there it is, my friends. I'll see you all next time. And as always, stay down there, baby.